Okay. Hi, everybody. Turn this extra light on. Congrats. Surprise. It's a live stream. Hey. I didn't actually promote this at all. Hadn't actually planned on doing it at all. By the way, Nigel is behind the curtain. Say hi, honey.
Hi, everyone.
Yes. So he will be moderating our little impromptu live stream if you can join us. Hi, I'm glad to have you with us. Sorry, as I was saying, I didn't really do much promotion for this. Didn't put a newsletter out or anything because it was kind of a spontaneous thing. I was outside shooting wigs like this, which by the way is my Bordeaux, which is in chocolate covered strawberry. So this is very similar to the rosewood color from Ellen Villa. And this wig and this color will both be coming out. I have an ETA of early December. I was trying to get it here before Black Friday, but you know, it is what it is, and we're in the middle of a pandemic, and you know the story. But it's coming, and I wanted to show it to you before we get everybody in here, and I can actually talk about what's going on. But before I get ahead of myself, yeah, I was shooting outside. Sorry for the rambling mess. I've got a billion things to say and I don't know what order to say them all in. So this is what happens when I do things on the fly. They end up being kind of like a scrambled mess. So my apologies in advance. I swear this will be really good though, because some things happened, kind of dramatic. I'm gonna share some emails. It's gonna be a thing. I mean, hopefully we will see that it has a happy ending. I don't know yet because I got to review this wig. Thank you. I love hedgehogs. So who said that? Janet. Hi, Janet. Hi, everybody who's joining us. But I was shooting this wig and a bunch of others outside concurrently with all of this drama going on. And I was like, you know what? I should just talk about what's happening and how we can all work together to stop this from happening. And some of you who, especially if you are on my Patreon, you probably know that one of my gigantic, biggest pet peeves about the wig industry is recirculation. I almost said recyculation, but you know, when they take a return in from a retailer like me, one of the suppliers takes them in, they basically will then, you know, rebox it and send it back out to people. And if all of the wigs were being held to a really high standard for those inspections, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. And I get very irritated when I order samples to review and those things come back to me as, you know, obviously not new. Because that tells me if they know it's coming to me and they know that I'm buying it to review on the YouTube channel and it came to me in that condition, what on earth are, you know, because I drop ship with these brands, what are they sending to you guys? And this is something that really bothers me because, you know, the suppliers like to shift the blame for that onto the retailers. And, you know, we do bear responsibility for that, but if we're drop shipping, then they have to make sure that what they send out is what we are paying them to send out, which is, you know, pristine, brand new, great looking stuff that's packaged well and obviously hasn't been worn by somebody before. So hopefully that's something we can all kind of get behind as wig wearers, you know, that if they were going to recirculate these returns, which does make sense from a financial perspective, that they would try to make sure that they're doing so, you know, with as much care about quality control as possible. So what I'm about to describe in this video is an example of me starting to push back a little bit more about that, because my goal in 2021 is to push back and I want you guys to help me. So I'm going to state up front what my agenda is by telling you this story, and it's the reason why I wanted to just make this video live, get it over with, because it's the kind of thing I hate doing because I actually really love these brands. I love their products, and if anything, I view this as us all protecting each other, including these brands, because, you know, if they put short-sighted needs ahead of the bigger picture of making sure that their quality control is intact and there's a lot of integrity to the supply chain, if they don't do their part and they take any return that's sent back to them and then flip it and send it to somebody else without their knowledge, that's a big problem. It's unhygienic, and frankly, if they're sending out used wigs when I'm paying full wholesale price for a new one, then I want a discount. I want them to tell me up front, and I want them to provide some kind of economic incentive for making me help them offload their returns. So that way, at least I can extend that to you guys too, because right now we're both being charged top dollar for these things. So they should all be new all the time. That's my perspective on this. But so now you know what my agenda is by describing what this story is about. So Okay. And my apologies if this is a lot for some of you, and I swear there will be a review in here. I'm going to review a Malibu in Candy Brown LR. I've actually got 2 of these. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into the email exchanges, and I'm just going to read them because I don't want to give away any identifying details of the people I was talking to or anything like that. So I received a wig, a Malibu in Candy Blonde, or Candy Brown rather, LR, and I sent this to the supplier because this one arrived like this. Okay, and I was on back order, just so you know. So I was waiting for this to arrive in this color so I could review it in this color specifically. I have not taken this one out of the box yet. This is how this wig arrived to me. Heather from CysterWigs.com, who bought it specifically to review on the YouTube channel. That's how that arrived. So let that sink in for a second. I'm gonna actually turn this light up so you can actually see, because when I got this, I was so mad, you guys. I was so mad. Like, and Nigel could attest to this. I was ranting and raving a little bit in my living room. I was steaming. I was pretty ticked off. It's like basically a wadded. If I got this as a return from a customer, I would still inspect it to make, you know, and if it was okay, we would approve it. But I would definitely send them a note saying, please don't do this again, right? Like I would definitely notify them that this isn't gonna fly. So is this the new normal? Is this what we're doing now? Because I'm not cool with that at all. And I made sure to let the folks at Noriko know that. Now, by the way, you know, and this is not necessarily, you know, something that, you know, they don't have a monopoly on this behavior. Essentially, if you want to know which wig companies are most likely to do this, because I have experienced this multiple times from multiple brands, and I'm pushing back hard against it from now on because this is getting out of hand. Because, I mean, that's not even a close call. Like, that's not even a close call. And they sent me a replacement, by the way. And so I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but they did send me a replacement. They airdropped it to me. I mean, overnighted it. So they know that I'm making this video. This is the replacement. That is how this wig was supposed to arrive at my home. So okay. I wrote them and let them know what was going on. And I was like, all I did, and this is me just reading this verbatim, all I did was remove the lid of the box. It's very obviously a beat up, incorrectly repackaged return. Was this even inspected before you sent this to me, Heather from CysterWigs, to review as a representative sample of this product for my YouTube channel? You need to be aware that I will review this product and this issue will be part of that review. I keep my word. I said I owe you the professional courtesy of telling you about this issue directly before I address this on social media. Doesn't mean that they had a say in whether or not I was going to do it, but it does mean that I owe them the professional courtesy of alerting them to the issue. I said, the fact of the matter is, while I appreciate getting off of back order, I would have much preferred to wait for a new wig. How many of you would have preferred to wait for a new wig in this situation as well? I said, my company only purchases new wigs from you. We don't get a discount for helping you offload your returns. There is no upside for me or my customers when you engage in this practice, and you know, there isn't as much quality control as there should be. Let's just say I'm truncating this a little bit because I was a little hot. I said, how am I supposed to maintain a hygienic return policy and determine that the client damaged the wig when you are drop shipping items in this condition? This is hideously unfair to my customers and my staff. For the customers, and see, I'm looking out for you guys. For the customers, it is tremendously unfair because they may end up returning this based on the condition of how it arrived. Like I was saying earlier. I'm like sweating because of the adrenaline, because I'm so scared to talk about this. Anyway, if I start sweating through my makeup, you'll know what that's about. Anyway, I said, we may end up assuming that the mispackaging and damage was the result of that client's. This will upset them, make them think we're unfair or mean, and they will end up shopping elsewhere. They will feel ripped off, and if you are sending them stuff in this condition, you need to know that you are setting them up to feel that way. There's very little I can do as a retailer to avoid this. If you're recirculating anything, big stores, like insert the name of a really big store. The first one that came to mind is probably the one that I'm thinking of too. Anything that they send back, they tend to accept. And this isn't just something that this company does. Like I said, basically any relates them. It's something I deal with basically every brand that I carry, with the exception of maybe one or two. But most of them recirculate returns, and this is probably one of the most appalling examples I have personally experienced. So that's why I'm gonna talk about this more. I said it is agonizing to be stuck in the middle. I said my company takes all the blame and a lot of additional work, which is expensive, to try to work around suppliers mismanaging their own returns and the recirculation of those products to my customers without my consent or prior knowledge. It is unfair to my staff because they shouldn't have to work that much harder to play detective. Like, did the wig arrive like this or did the client do it? And they should not have to deal with all the bad PR and expensive negative customer service issues that can arise when customers get unfairly caught up in this. So I said, again, when I pay for a new wig, I expect that a new wig is sent. Otherwise, why would I buy from you when I could buy these used on the secondary market and flip them via arbitrage? I could get them for significantly less than wholesale. Like if I were buying these on eBay or something like that, if I'm gonna get used wigs, why would I pay full wholesale price for them is essentially what I'm saying here. So I'll abbreviate this. My wig was too far back. Like essentially, you know, like if I wanted to buy used wigs, I would buy used wigs and I could get them a lot cheaper than what I'm paying these companies to be a authorized distributor of their products. And so it is kind of their responsibility to make sure that these things are packaged correctly and that they are good quality. That is why I'm paying that high of a wholesale price. And that's why I felt so comfortable for so long repping these brands. And I want to continue to proudly rep these brands. This is an issue that they can fix. There are a whole bunch of ways that all of the brands that do this stuff, you know, and I've got stories. Again, this is not exclusive to this brand, so please don't assume that it's just them. It's not. And I'm sorry if they feel like I'm throwing them under the bus, but this has got to stop. We have got to band together to stop it. So before I actually read the rest of the resolution, I would like to send a big ask your way. Particularly if you are as appalled by some of the stuff as I am, or if you have experienced this or heard of somebody experiencing this kind of returns recirculation. If you suspect that you have received a recycled return instead of a new product, specifically if it was shipped directly from that manufacturer. We drop ship primarily, and a lot of the small stores do. And, you know, when we send stuff out to you, the return address will actually say, in most cases, the brand name, you know. So if we drop ship from John Renault, it'll say John Renault. If we drop ship from Raquel Welch, it'll say Hair Everywhere. You know what I mean? So if you think that they drop shipped you a recycled return, absolutely email them. You know, email us. If you bought it from us, tell us, but tell them too. Because at this point, we got to be like the little bees in their bonnet that get them to stop. Because this is not gonna fly. Like, I usually don't see stuff this egregious until December. And usually every December, and you can, if you have subscribed to our newsletters and you don't delete them, check your inbox. Because you will see historically, I pull way back on sales in December. I don't do a lot of heavy promotions. I don't actually even put out that much YouTube content. I basically pull way back. And that's because that's when this stuff usually starts to get like this. If it's already like this, what's it gonna be like at the end of the year? I need to sell stuff, people. Like, I need to know that the supply chain is okay, that these wigs are gonna be in great shape, and that you guys are going to get new stuff when you pay for new stuff.
Oh man, Mary Lynn says, I've a few times received recycled returns and the company still argued and no compensation.
That's right, make them argue with you. At this point, I am through, because I get the same stuff, the same treatment every time this happens, every time I complain about it. And I need you guys to know. I need you to know. And some of this is very self-serving, and I want to be upfront about that. Like, I need you to know that I go to bat for you in ways that you can't see that make it hard for me to do business. Because the stores that go with the flow get rewarded a lot for it. And I don't. I definitely am a pain in the butt. I am a difficult person to work with when this kind of stuff is happening because I stand my ground, and I'm not afraid to take the risk that they're going to say, hey, we don't want to do business with you anymore. You're too chatty.
Kathy says you are the best. And my love calls me Tootsie, says you're doing a very honorable thing. I've never bought a quality wig, but I've been saving to do so. I would be so let down to receive a wig in that condition.
That's right. That's right. And that's the other issue. This wig retails for over $400. That's exactly right. Who said that?
That was my love calls me Tootsie.
My love calls me Tootsie. Welcome. I'm glad to have you with us. And I completely 100% agree. Something you guys may know about me if you followed my channel for a while from the beginning. You know, I grew up in the Rust Belt. My family was incredibly dysfunctional, and I grew up very poor. And I actually spent a fair amount of my early 20s either couch hopping or homeless. So, you know, the price point of stuff definitely it never escapes my notice. I don't ever take it for granted because I was in, you know, like wigs and, you know, costume wigs essentially. Anytime I wanted to wear wigs up until my 30s. It wasn't until I graduated from college and got an adult job and got, you know, some actual money coming in the door that I could start buying these higher end wigs. And I know because that was only like 9 years ago, right? Like barely a decade ago maybe. So it's still very fresh in my mind. What that sensation felt like and how naked I felt without my hair and how disappointing it was. I mean, this is a normal thing even under the best of circumstances, that, you know, you don't know what you're doing necessarily when you first start out. You could watch a ton of videos and then buy something and then it could still be not what you were expecting. And sometimes it takes a little while to kind of get used to it, wear it around the house, kind of get the feel for it. So the learning curve, I guess, if I'm getting right to the point there, is already hard for new wig wearers. It's already hard psychologically, and, you know, it's a lot. And then if this was your first experience buying a $400 wig, boy, you'd be mad, right? And who would you be mad at? This one right here. You'd be mad at me, even though this makes me madder than hell. Like, I'm right there with you. And that's what I figured being quiet about this for so long enables. It basically puts us both in a bind when it doesn't have to be this way. And ultimately, really, the quickest solution to solving this problem would be for all of these suppliers to stop taking returns that don't pass inspection, right? Like, just don't accept them. Send them back where they came. And instead of trying to flip them. What, you know, make the retailers actually enforce their own return policies. Because right now they're so scared of bad PR, they're so bad of negative reviews and people harassing them, that they don't want to risk ticking people off who take advantage of the system. But this is what happens when people take advantage of return situations. Where do those wigs go? They don't magically disappear. We need to make them stop that, which will make things ultimately harder on retailers like me. But I'm already enforcing really strict return policies that are based on what these suppliers are supposedly holding me to in terms of standards. I based my store's return policy off of what they're willing to accept as returns. But the thing is, they very rarely take my returns these days. They won't take them. And then they send me this stuff. So it makes me feel like I'm basically helping to subsidize Wigs.com's free return policy sometimes, which is super annoying. But anyway, just so you know, they did respond. The folks at Noriko did respond to me, even though I specifically told them in the email I sent them not to send me a replacement, because I told them, you sent me this to review, I'm going to review it. I already told them that in writing. And they sent me a replacement even though I asked them not to. So now we have something to compare the one I received up against. So it'll probably work out really well, actually. And then, you know, they asked me not to make this video. And, you know, I do appreciate them sending me a free replacement. But that doesn't solve the bigger issue of all the other stuff that I've discussed in this video. That if they're sending the stuff to me, what are they sending to my customers? And the reason they stated for sending me this wig, by the way, was, we believe the issue was with this item not being inspected when received from the factory. I'm paying them to do that. I carry name brand products for that reason. Like if I wanted to have to, you know, inspect my own wigs for quality control, guess I could buy my own wig, start my own brand. Hey, you know, I'm trying to do that, but right now I want a mixed store where I have their products with my products, where they complement each other. I'm not trying to replace these brands. You know, I'm making stuff that's lower end than what they typically make, and openly, you know, because I want them to know that I want to still carry these brands, especially for higher end pieces like $400 wigs. They do such a beautiful job. Why reinvent the wheel? But I have no words. Because they said they would have never approved a return in this condition. But they also said that the issue was the wig was not inspected when sent from the factory. So I still don't see how that solves this issue, where, like, I still got this. So that explanation, like, I should not ever be sending wigs out in this condition or receiving wigs in this condition. And we pay good money to these brands to provide their high quality products to you, because they are high quality. I wouldn't put up with all this crap for so long, because it's been going on for a very long time. I wouldn't put up with it if I didn't think that these products were good. Right? But I mean, they have to be first quality if that's what we're paying for. Again, I'm kind of shaky because there's a lot of adrenaline here, so my apologies if any of this sounds like intense, because to me this is very intense stuff. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what this wig is supposed to be, and that is a Kandy by Noriko. I have not taken this out of the box. I have not tried it on. I know nothing about this wig, aside from, you know, what it took to actually list it. So again, the color is Candy Brown LR. This wig retails for $408. The brands set the pricing, just so you know. That's why all the stores have basically the same price. That's why. And the description says, Malibu by Noriko is a beautiful long hair topper. Oh, that's not true. That's not right. We gotta fix that. This is a beautiful long wig, isn't it? Or is this a topper? Oh, it might be a topper. Looks like it's a topper. I have friends that help me add stuff to the website now, and this is actually my first, this is how raw this is. I have not actually seen this product yet. So let's see. It says that the weight is 3.4 ounces, that it is lightweight, silky, synthetic fibers, and 5 snap clips around perimeter for extra security. So let's take a look at this. All right, I'm gonna take the one out of the box that came new. See, I thought this was a wig because it had so much hair on it, but it looks like it's just a really, really big topper. So here is this. This is what happens when I work 7 days a week. When I actually like start to review stuff, I'm like, what is this magical thing? So here's this wig out of the box. And I don't know if you can see the color. I don't know why they call it Candy Blonde. It's Candy Brown. I keep wanting to say blonde, because there's an Ellen Villa color called Candy Blonde. I'm gonna take the hairnet off of this. Okay, oh, this is pretty though. It's got a front kind of like May, you know, it's kind of razored. It's long in the back, kind of, the length actually reminds me a lot of like Jackson. So that's really pretty. Oh man, I'm almost afraid to like try this on because I actually have no hair, so this will probably look really weird up against my head. But you know what? Let's just run with it. At this point, I'm going to keep both of these, so I'm not even going to bother to put a hairnet on. I'll show you the inside of this topper in a moment. Oh. Oh, this has a lot of hair on it. See, I love the cut of it already. Let me grab my little mirror because I may have to like kind of play with this a little bit. There is no lace front on this. I like this color. It reminds me a lot of like the English Toffee by Veltress. Or like, no, the chocolate caramel, because this is a rooted color. They're the same colors, just English Toffee has no root. Very pretty color. Way more of like a traditional looking brunette though than I think I was expecting. Let me move this back just a little bit. Like if I position this right behind my hairline, like someone would probably do if they were wearing this for reals, where would that crown sit? Oh boy. That is a bump it. That is a 90s bump it and a half. So I will say that I go back to my original statement. The quality seems to be very good. This has a ton of hair on it. And it's definitely got quite a bit of volume back here, which we'll take a look at in just a second. But honestly, it's very light for how voluminous it is. I think that the tapering and the layering and how thinned out and kind of shaggy things are on the sides, I think that's really beautiful. This is a very nice big topper too, that the ends of it come all the way down here. So that's where the bottom clips are gonna go. So it's, let's see where the edges are. Here's the edge on each side here. So it's basically like around here. And I'll show you on my little friend here in a moment. But yeah, this is beautifully done. See, this is what I am fighting to preserve. I'm fighting to preserve this experience for everybody because these products are great. Noriko makes some beautiful, beautiful stuff. So that's worth fighting for, I think. You know, I hope that they don't think that this is a complete diss track because it's actually a love note and it's like bittersweet love, you know? I think that if I turn the light up, you can see that, you know, it's a little shiny. That's pretty typical of Noriko, but it's actually, it could be way shinier. Like if this is still a premium, non-heat friendly synthetic fiber. And you can really see that color, hopefully. I'll stand back a little bit, see if that helps it focus a bit more. So this is beautiful. Let me go ahead and kind of show you the back. Let me take this tag, whip it around the front a little bit. So this is my first exposure to this. Let me see if that's all in the shot so you can kind of see. Can you see it, Nigel?
Say what's that?
Can you see the whole back?
Yes, can see the whole back. Definitely.
Okay, good. So really pretty. This is definitely longer than their Milan topper. So if you're torn between the two. Now, let's take a look at the construction of it. I think $409 is a little much for a wig that's only got a partial monofilament base. As in, you know, it's partially wefted on the back and sides. It's almost like a 3/4 wig, but not quite because there are no ear tabs involved. See the Noriko tag. You can see the clips, they're pressure sensitive. I have nothing to attach them to, so I'm not even going to attempt that. But you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. You get one on the side of each temple. And you get one right around here on each side. And you'll get one right in the center of the back. So right around here. I had to kind of figure out where my nape was because it comes up to about here off the nape. And this is so you can blend your own hair into it at the front hairline as well as at the back. This color in particular will work beautifully if you have naturally kind of dark hair and you're looking to incorporate kind of subtle highlighting into it. This would be a really easy way to accomplish that. Very voluminous voluminizer here. And very nice if you have advanced hair loss, but you're not quite at the advanced progressive stage like I am. Like, let's say intermediary, like intermediate, what do they call it? I think that's an intermediate stage hair loss. If that's you, then this will probably work really well. I don't have enough hair and it doesn't really grow robustly anymore. Hormones, you know the drill. So me and toppers, we don't play that much anymore these days. But I do miss those days. I think that these have a really beautiful utility. I think that they can increase your styling options, and I particularly loved wearing toppers in the summertime when it's hot out, or anytime I wanted to wear my hair up in a ponytail or an updo, because it makes a very convincing updo, because the back of the hair is always your actual hair, so it looks very natural. So let me go ahead and put this on the mannequin head here so I can kind of show you where it sits. You can see that there is a little bit of polyurethane right at the front hairline. There's also felt that lines the perimeter of this topper, which is a nice touch. That's a very nice finish. It won't lay completely flat on the mannequin. You can see the bump it right there. So where this opaque little patch is, that's where the permatease resides. There's also a really nice monofilament top. It's scratchy, so it's not quite like a Moore where they have like that silky finish texture fabric on top. Instead, it's just the raw knotting. So I recommend wearing a wig cap if you're wearing a full wig that has this, but you can't really do that with a topper. So just be mindful, and what might be helpful is if you tease your hair just a little bit underneath this. I mean, just a little bit at the roots. So that way these aren't rubbing right up against your scalp, because that friction can actually it can be kind of abrasive after a while. I mean, can you hear that? It's a little bit like the scratchy part of Velcro. But the effect is very good. And I'll show you that on this side. So there's that bump it again. Generous amount of permatease here. Again, reminds me of the volume on Jackson. But the effect is you get that beautiful part. Now, it is a single monofilament, so a single draw. So you can see the knots, and in a color like this where the knotting is so dark, you can really see that for yourself. If that really bugs you, try just a little bit of makeup on the part. That can help substantially. And wearing a wig cap also helps. I think this is a nice topper. I was expecting it to be much heavier, and in fact, I was actually expecting this to be a full wig. Because I am, wow. There's just a lot to keep up with these days. Oh my goodness. So I love the back of it. I love the layering. I mean, the layering is so beautiful. Can you guys, let me just hold this. Can you see how pretty the layering is? I mean, it's really delicious. And I love how it's got this kind of gentle sort of curl inward around the face. That's really nice and flattering, so it won't like flare and flip out. The front of it is, again, similar to something like May or Jackson. This fits right in with the Noriko aesthetic, because they love their shags and their shaggy bobs and their shaggy shags and their shags. They love this kind of texture, and I'm glad that I like it, because I was really, really scared that I was going to just not like this experience at all, given all of the issues that we had getting this wig here. And so I'm gonna go ahead with this as our representative sample. By the way, I'm gonna continue to sell this topper, because I actually think it's a really beautiful topper. I think that for somebody who wants to approximate something like Jackson by Noriko, but with a topper, this would be a beautiful way to do it. And one of the downsides of wearing alternative hair is that you can't always tease it without worrying about breaking it or getting, sometimes finding a good hairspray that'll make things hold is difficult. Well, this one has enough volume built in, you probably won't have to worry about that. I mean, even if, take a look at that. Boop, 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 it's like a little pillow back here. But that's a good thing if you like that teasing at the crown and you didn't know how to get it, particularly if you need a topper and your hair is naturally sparse. So definitely check us out on CysterWigs. We do sell this Malibu topper, and I really like it. I'm pleasantly surprised, because this was my first experience, and that, I think, gets back to my point that, I want you guys to have this experience where you're like, oh, what is this? Oh, it's the best, as opposed to, there's some hair there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take this out of here because I want to make sure, like, my hope is that there is a redemption story in here where I look like the person with egg on my face. Like, I hope that I open this up and it's just shuffled around a little bit and it looks great. And then I will not feel, you know, like I'm being too harsh, I guess. I want to give them the opportunity to prove that I'm overreacting, I guess. So I'm removing this hairnet. So far, it's not particularly promising. But I'm going to try my best not to...
Oh, wow.
Okay. You know. Whew. Okay. Calm. Find your center. Your nougaty core, Heather. Find it. Okay. All right. Okay, well, this is score 1 for the box head theory because, like, that has some significant cold crimping going on there. So, if anything, this backs up their claim that perhaps this was not a return. Perhaps this was just packaged incorrectly at the factory, but they should have caught that there and they should have sent this back to the factory. All right, cool. So we're just gonna have to have a difference of opinion there, I think. I'm trying to take a look at it. Okay, so the nape is obviously a little messed up. So the top, I can totally understand being, you know, just shuffled around in packaging. But the inside... yeah, I'm gonna have to... it's tangled. I would definitely assume that this was a return. If I received this as a customer, I would definitely assume that there was something amiss. I mean, wouldn't you? And I mean, here's what the top of this looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and just plop this on. Actually, I want to try to do a better faith effort of trying to smooth down the front. So you know what? Just to be extra super nice, I'm gonna run a comb through the front. Real gently. Not to disrupt it too much, but just so it doesn't lay like insane. All right. Now remember what the first one looked like. I'm gonna try to make sure that I've got this even. It doesn't...
It looks like someone tried to style it and figured, oh dear.
This doesn't even look like the same topper.
No.
Like, does it? Like,
no,
this one looks like Jackson by Noriko, and it's pretty straight. I mean, there's a little bit of a curl inward, but...
The fine one, the good one that you got looks like it belongs on Jennifer Aniston's head.
Yeah.
That one does not look like the same thing at all.
Oh, goodness.
I'll tell you what it looks like. It puts me in mind of Tina Fey from 30 Rock, sort of.
All right, I'm going to turn around. We'll take a look at the back together. Is it all in the shot, honey?
It is at the moment.
Ooh, the permatease.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. The permatease has, like, this big dent in it.
Yeesh.
Oh, boy. This is... Okay. Nougaty center. Calm. We're at the beach. All right. I'm gonna try to comb it and see if that helps. But, I mean, look how curled that is. Okay. Okay.
Honestly,
okay. This is baffling. I don't even mind the curls. It's just how are these even similar?
Well, I'm looking at the product shots for it, and it's not supposed to be curled.
Like, I agree with Nigel's supposition. Because I'm trying my best to make this lay like it should. Like, you can see the comb. You can see that I'm not trying to paint an inaccurate picture. Like, look how flat that is on top. And the back of it has a big dent. But seriously, what is going on here? Like, I agree. It looks like somebody tried to style it at home and returned it. Okay. Like, that's actually worse than I was expecting it to be. And that, I gotta take a sip of delicious diet Chick-fil-A lemonade. Not to plug Chick-fil-A, but their diet lemonade is the bomb. But yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm going to pause again because I'm still sort of at a loss for what to do. And I mean, I'm literally coming up with the stuff in real time. Nigel, is anybody commenting anything?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, talk to me.
Okay, well, let's see here. SMFL says, wow, just wow, quality control problems with this one. Purple Haze, oh, excellent pun on the name, Hayes, Purple Haze. I'm with Nigel, I thought the nicer one looked like some of Jennifer Aniston's earlier hairstyle, so different from the other one.
Yeah.
Investigator 77, they should be ashamed of their customer service selling a wig like that. That's bad.
Oh my god.
Tim Krause says, nasty, what's that lump?
I know!
My love calls me Tootsie.
I
No!
know.
Not the same!
The lump! It's like got a dent in it. Okay, so they did send me this one for free to replace it. So they did handle this in what I would consider as like an old school customer service kind of way. They did help me on an individual level. And now that I've seen what this thing, the first one they sent me looks like, I'm glad that they replaced it because it gives me an opportunity to see how this is supposed to look. I really like this.
Nikki agrees it definitely looks like it was styled, and Marnie says, quick, put the house brand wig back on.
I know. I almost, you know what? Hey, Nigel, can you hold down the fort for a second? I'm going to be right back. I'm actually going to go put a Noriko wig on because I feel like you know, I'm torn and I need to remind myself and everybody else why I like this brand so much. So, all right, let me, because I mean, I'm still going to have to figure out what I'm going to do.
Hi, folks. Nigel here. I'm not coming on camera because, well, I wasn't expecting to have this live stream done, so I didn't make myself look pretty for the camera. So I'm just going to stand here and blather away until Heather comes back. Yeah, I gotta say, I've been watching your comments and responding to them. I'll try to get Heather to talk about the house brand wig that she started the video with, so stay tuned. We'll try and get that on camera in a bit. But yeah, honestly, that first one she got sent, that came out of the package looking like an octopus who doesn't want to go anywhere. Just sort of coiled up tentacles and like, no, leave me alone. Oh, that was terrible. But yeah, I'm with you, folks. That is pretty bad.
Okay.
Here she comes.
I got a wig on.
Here she comes, folks.
All right, I threw on a Jackson that I have in my collection. This is Cayenne Spice, because I wanted to show you what I meant about, you know, hey, this looks like a little bit like Jackson, you know, the real one, the one that isn't messed up. And these are very nice, high quality wigs. Hence, frustration. Because the products are very good. It makes this doubly frustrating for me, I think. So again, my sincere recommendation for everybody is, well, one, like, share, subscribe, you know, all that stuff. But also, I think that if you receive something like this, definitely, you know, one, let the store you bought it from know, for sure. Very important, you know, because if you need to return it, they're the ones that you'll have to go through to do that. So definitely let the store you bought the wig from know that you think you may have gotten a recirculated return. But also, take pictures before you take anything out of the box. Just get into the habit of doing that. Because even if it's perfect when it arrives, it shows you how to repackage the wig. And that way, if you have to return it, you know how to put it back in the box the way it came, so no problems, easy peasy return. And then the other issue is you'll be able to store this long term in the box.
Is that a rooted color?
This is a rooted color. This is Cayenne Spice R. I love this color. I actually put makeup on the scalp a long time ago. I don't know if it's still on there or not, but you know, it helps with the parting a little bit. Anyway, so definitely take a picture of the wig when you first receive it, because it'll help you with storing, as I said, and it will help you with returns. So it's just a good thing to know. And it saves your butt in instances like this, where you may have to prove that the wig arrived in that condition. You know, if you take pictures of the whole opening process, it basically covers your bases really beautifully. So, you know, looking out for you, because I don't actually enjoy failing returns. I don't. I know that that makes people mad, and I hate doing it to them. And just so you know, the situation as it currently is I have to assume that when something comes to my doorstep like that from a customer, that unless they indicate otherwise, they did that. Because somebody did that, right? And so, cover your butt. Then tell the brand. They need to know that you noticed this. They need to know that it's painful. And frankly, they need to share in that pain a little bit more. Because if they realize that this is happening on a certain scale, then they will have to address it. But as long as they can suppress it and it just ends up being isolated incidents, you know, we're not exactly joining forces to you know, combat this issue. I know that some of the small retailers and myself are, and I'm not going to out them in this video just in case, you know, this ends up hurting my business more than it helps it, you know what I mean? But I know that this is a common frustration that a lot of the smaller stores share with me. So, you know, it's not something where this is about the stores I'm competing with. It's actually a much bigger issue, and it's something that disproportionately disadvantages the smaller stores that carry these products. So, yeah, I'm still going to carry this. I'm still going to carry it because I think that this topper, if this is a representation of how this is supposed to arrive, is a good one. And I would recommend it to people. But I would not be able to do so in good conscience without at least telling you what happened to get to this point. And all of this was done kind of on the fly, so you'll have to let me know if you like this. It's almost like Russian roulette, but with wigs, and hopefully if I do it again in the future, it won't be for a circumstance half this dramatic. Does anybody have any questions about the topper or any of the stuff I've described? Nigel?
Yeah, just a second.
I'll pause while he kind of collects himself. It'll give me an opportunity to have some more crisp and refreshing lemonade. And then I can answer your questions about the house brand wig. I'll put that back on. But I don't want to be unfair, you know? Like, obviously, I would not put up with this from a supplier that sold inferior products. They sell beautiful products. I love their products. And so I want this to be a situation where we can all help the whole ecosystem get better. Because if anything, we have to preserve the integrity of the supply chain and the quality control measures that go into these kind of high-end wigs, because otherwise, if they're not going to be consistently good quality, well packaged every time you buy them, why pay that much? That's what you're paying for with that, you know, high-end price tag and the designer label on these wigs. You're paying for consistency and quality, aren't you? So we need to make sure that we protect that. It's in all of our best interest, including the brands, to protect that, because, you know, that will ensure that there will always be a place for them, no matter how inexpensive wigs get, that people will still come to them as trusted sources of high-end products with good quality control.
All right. Well, I've got a bunch of questions.
All right, give them to me.
Which I'll get to at the end of this review, because it's about the wig that you wore at the very beginning.
Yeah, I'll put that back on before the end. I'll do a little do-si-do with my lemonade while you ask me any questions about the Noriko stuff.
Okay. Let's see here.
Bra straps are pesky.
Well, you've answered the question about that cayenne spice rooted.
I love this color very much.
Yeah.
It's very dramatic. Looks great on short styles. This color on like May, or like you can go even shorter. This used to be really killer on Ivy. So I mean, it's really cute.
Kim Krause says, if you can, after this live chat, ask others to talk to Kathleen about the styling she did on an Ambrose to make it a short, perky, sassy shag with a bang.
She's so good at that stuff. Kathleen is very, very, very good with the styling. She's amazing.
Oh yeah. SMFL says, my 10-year-old daughter says she is so beautiful. I said she most certainly is. I appreciate your honesty.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been a long road. Like I used to weigh almost 300 pounds, so I really appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I've got some people asking for help picking stuff out. I recommended them to the help desk.
Yep, that's definitely customer service stuff for sure.
Let's Feel Good Generation X says, is it heat friendly? And I had a look on the product listings. It doesn't say anything about heat friendly.
It's not heat friendly. I can
Yeah.
tell by the way the fiber feels.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's just a regular Noriko fiber. So it should not be heat styled.
Kim Krause says, what's that lump on the misshapen one?
Right. That I think it's just a dent in the permatease. The good one doesn't have it. The good one has nice, smooth, round, bump it permatease. Kind of like this Jackson does. Ooh, I am for real. What else we got?
Heather Cabaniech, I hope I pronounced that somewhat correctly, says, how can you tell you're getting a new piece from the year 2020 and not 2019?
I mean, that's, to me, when it was made and how long it's been sitting in the warehouse does not bother me that much. It really doesn't. What really bothers me is if it's been returned or worn by somebody else or has been packaged, like, let's assume that they're telling the truth. Like, if it's been packaged in a way that's going to permanently damage the wig. Because I would consider, regardless of how this got like this is damaged. If it's supposed to look like this. Right? So,
all right, let's
you know,
see. Kim had to
that's
leave.
an issue. Bye, Kim!
That's Deborah Englander says, I understand you have an average large circumference. How do you get Noriko and Ellen Villa to fit?
I shave my head, for one thing. And this obviously is not going to be an issue with the topper. With the topper, you really just want to pay attention to, you know, where those clips are, and if you have enough hair that is strong enough and thick enough in the areas where the clips are, where it won't, like, yank your hair out or cause, like, headaches or more alopecia, which would be a nasty side effect of wearing helper hair in this instance. Really only happens with clips or, like, really strong adhesives. Just FYI there. Like this one, for example, is tight. This Jackson, she's tight, but I've had her for going on, I want to say 4 years, maybe 5. So again, it doesn't bother me if stuff has been sitting in the box a while. I just want to make sure that it's not, like, damaged. Because you can see, when I repackaged this, I repackaged it the way it came with all the original packaging stuff. And because of that, it still maintained its shape more or less. It might get a little bit of cold crimping, but I don't even see any of that. This has been in my closet. I just went and grabbed it. You know, so it doesn't matter how long it's been sitting. If it's packaged properly, it should be okay. As long as it's synthetic. Human hair needs to be taken care of. With synthetics, you should be fine. I'm on a tangent. What was I answering?
I don't know. I was dealing with someone who looked like they were trolling.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we get those sometimes. Alrighty. So, did you block them?
Working on it. Yep.
Cool. Alrighty. So that's about it for the Noriko stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, but I do shave my head. That helps substantially. If you've got a big head and any hair at all, this is gonna fit really tight. And if I were to be wearing this for a long period of time, I would put on a grip cap, which is a Milano collection product that we sell at CysterWigs. It's really nice for alleviating pressure points, so I tend to wear those under my Noriko wigs. So that was the question. I found my way back eventually. So here is the one I was mentioning earlier. This is the Bordeaux, which is in chocolate covered strawberry. It's like a brunette shade, like a chocolate brown color. So it's a little warm with like ash pink highlights. This is actually our rose blush in the highlight here. It's kind of like my take on something like Ellen Villa's Rosewood, except, you know, we made this a rooted color and the highlights are a very specific color of pink. They're the rose blush color that's also on our Ambrose wig. So slightly different colors, just conceptually very similar to something like that, where it's like a brunette with pink in it.
All right, what's the one you're wearing at the moment?
Bardot.
Okay.
Bardot, and this is in chocolate covered strawberry R.
There you go, Deborah. Bordeaux and chocolate-covered strawberry are.
This is on the next shipment that we are getting from the factory. We do have to do some quality control and stuff like that when we receive it. So we do spot inspections and stuff. So that probably will not, these won't be available until probably the first week in December. I was hoping to get them here by Black Friday. It's just not going to happen. I think, you know, with COVID and the post office working as hard as they are and everything, I can be a little bit more patient.
Oh, just a shout out to English teacher with sauce. She said, I just want to say before I go that I received my Ambrose and it is the most comfortable wig that I have. Even more comfortable than my Amore, and that has blown my mind. So thank you, English teacher with sauce.
Thank you so very much. Like,
and take it easy.
Yes, definitely. Like, all of these will have the same cap fit as the Ambrose wig. I want to sell them at a similar price point. And this is basically the same cap construction as the Felix wig. So there's a little bit of permatease on the top there. All the colors are rooted colors for this style, at least initially. I might do this in Tahitian Sunset, depends on how it looks with the permatease. But it's got a very light amount of permatease and very light hair density to make it look more natural. And so because of that, you know, rooted colors are there to help sort of obscure any opportunity for the cap to be naked. The only place where you have to be really careful is at the front hairline. You don't necessarily want to style this one off the face. But we just made the fringe on it kind of long, and I feel like it kind of covers it up really nicely. And if you have a little bit of a hair that kind of matches the wig, you can always incorporate your front hairline if you'd like to. But yeah, this wig is beautiful. I'm super excited about it. So I just wanted to start the session with something on my head. This was actually the last item that I shot outside for the next series of reviews. I wanted to try to get all the outdoor footage that I'm probably going to get for the rest of the year before all the leaves fell off of the trees. So I'm probably going to do a whole bunch of them around, kind of trickle them out to you by the end of the year. So if you're like, didn't all the leaves fall off like a month and a half ago? Yeah, it just takes a while for me to edit and upload all that stuff. But I'm filming it all right now. So this is what I was wearing outside. So other than that, I got nothing else to say. I said basically everything I need to say. I still want to do business with Noriko, obviously. I like their products. I want to do business with all the brands I carry. I really like their products. I've been repping their products for a really long time, and it's because I believe in them, and I think that they are doing a beautiful job. I just want to make sure that, you know, with all of the things that are going on in the world, that they don't do things that are going to make business harder for me and life harder for you guys. So I think we can accomplish this. And really, I think it's just a matter of other retailers and the brands themselves getting a little stricter about returns. I think that will help substantially. And then, you know, we can trust the inspections. We can trust the products that are going out to everybody. People get new wigs when they buy new wigs. Everybody's a happy camper. Olé. So I've got nothing else. I hope you have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry to just kind of spring this on you. Hopefully you found it informative. You know, tell a friend if you think this is at all helpful information. And until next time, have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.